Hey, me and Matt here. And that's finally Survivor Series 2000. We've gone through the 80s, we've gone through the 90s, and we're almost halfway there. And it's still September, so I don't know why I started to do these now. But, whatever. Okay, so Survivor Series 2000. Obviously, if you thought of last year, there was Steve Austin getting run over. It was Rikishi, paid by Triple H, I guess. And so Steve Austin came back in a feud with him and Triple H, still reside. So that's interesting. Our first match was Val Venis. So this is it too, because you had new teams. You had the Right to Censor, which had Val Venis, the Godfather, as the Good Father, Ivory, and Bull Buchanan. Anyway, so this match was Right to Censor. Val Venis, this is with singles, I believe. Val Venis with Right to Censor, and Edge and Christian, of all people, taking on the Hardy Boys, or Jeff Hardy, with Matt Hardy, Lita, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Devon. So I'm not sure if this was a singles match or not, but it seemed to be Val Venis versus Jeff Hardy. Interesting. Anyways, Val Venis won. Number 2 was Steve Blackman, Crash Holly, and Molly Holly defeating TNA, which was Test and Albert and Trish Stratus. Well, what, you don't know as a kid, you come to know later in life. I mean, I didn't know what TNA actually was. Tits and ass, obviously. I didn't really know what suck it meant. Well, I kinda did. So I probably shouldn't have really been watching the Attitude Era, but whatever, I did, and it was fun. But yeah, TNA, Test and Albert, and it's a real shame. A lot of Canadian wrestlers, especially. But Test Andrew Martin passing away, it's very upsetting, is what it is. So, imagine what it would have been like to have him be the WWE champion, or in TNA as the TNA champion, but he liked cocaine too much. Anyways, so Steve Blackman's team won anyway. Then you had the Radicals, which was Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn making their debut with Terry, defeating basically the New Age Outlaws, China, and Ron Killings, aka K-Quick at the time. I remember the whole Ron Killings and Road Dogg hip-hop thing, and being the guy who'd eventually go to TNA and then come back as R-Truth for many years later. And he's still there. He's still an active wrestler. And, age doesn't mean a difference unless you're fucking healthy. And I think that whatever he's been going through, I don't know. But there it is. That being said, I was watching TNA Retro or whatever it's called, I can't remember, Epics, and you had actually calling Ron Killings the truth, which surprises me. So yeah, there you go. The Radicals won. It's also a shame, another Canadian that fell on some, really bad controversy and killing his wife and son, Chris Benoit, well, I'm gonna say it anyways, was one of my favorite wrestlers. And then to this day, it's a shame that it's happened. But you get a lot of brain injuries, especially people from the military coming back, and that's all they know. And then they end up killing a lot of people. The thing of the matter is, do they get justice? I don't know. I get a lot of that from the YouTube. Oh, well, they served our country. They should, not be as prosecuted as fucking Chris Benoit, who didn't really go into the military yet had a lot of brain injuries. Yeah, he did take a lot of testosterone, whatever. But still, a tragedy, and still... I wonder what it would have been like, though, if he didn't murder his son. I mean, hear me out. It doesn't matter if you kill, to me, a child or an adult. It's still fucking murder. So, I don't get a lot of that shit. It's still fucking murder, and it bothers me. Because, like I said, I wasn't a huge Benoit fan. But I was a fan, more or less. And when he came to WWE, I knew that he was in WCW. Again, I saw some of it. But it is what it is, and the Radicals won against the R-Truth team. Then we had one of many Kane versus Chris Jericho matches, but this was Kane versus Chris Jericho for the first time ever, I guess. And Kane won, obviously. I think the first time we came in August of '99, it was interesting to see what they did with Chris Jericho, giving him the title and then stripping it off on the same night, giving him the IC title and having him feud with China. And now, this match, which I knew that was going to happen. But anyways, and then you had William Regal, the Intercontinental Champion, I'm going to assume, defeated Hardcore Holly in a disqualification. Not too sure how that happened. I don't read a lot of these things, but it ended in disqualification. And, yeah, okay. Interesting. But then you had what we would have had before, like last year when the Survivor Series 99 ended, and then you had the confession from Rikishi was The Rock versus Rikishi. And then, of course, I'm not sure how, but you have The Rock go over, and that's the end of that. Then for the Women's Championship, Ivory versus Lita. Ivory being the member, like I said, of Right to Censor. And, very cool, to see that. And I was not a fan whatsoever of Ivory. Her voice is just god-awful, I guess, to me anyways. And then, she beat Lita. And so, that's obviously help from Right to Censor. The Kurt Angle Intercontinental So I get it. I think William Regal was either European champion or Hardcore champion, because this was no European champion. So Kurt Angle was Intercontinental champion, and he went against the new and informed American Badass Undertaker. Undertaker, of course, using Old School at some point. Or no, wait a second here. Kurt Angle was WWF champion at the time. Okay, what the fuck? So what the fuck is going on here? Alright, whatever. So, Kurt Angle was WWF champion. At the time, makes a lot of sense, actually. But, yeah, faced the new and improved American Badass. The Undertaker left for a while, came back at some point in the year as the biker. What really pisses me off is I'm not sure why. I mean, Kid Rock was on Raw. He was obviously, well, Joe C was a wrestling fan. Not too sure about Kid Rock, but I'd like to know what the fuck happened between him and the Undertaker that Undertaker couldn't use his wrestling theme song, American Badass, which he called himself the American Badass, and all of a sudden had to use Limp Bizkit's song, My Way, or Rollin'. Because it didn't make no sense to me, but yeah, Kurt Angle won that match, and it was still your WWF champion. Then you had the Dudley Boys and Hardy Boys defeated Edge and Christian and Right to Censor. So they had this match. You had Val Venus versus Jeff Hardy, and for some reason we're doing this match here, I guess. Okay. Yeah, Dudley Boys and Hardy Boys won this one. So, there you go. Then we get to the main event, which was the final. Well, I'm not going to say final because they've feuded ever since, you know. Steve Austin versus Triple H. Won in no contest. It was a no disqualification match. And it ended up that they were in the parking lot. And fucking Triple H was going to his car, and Stone Cold went in a forklift, I believe. And I can't remember. Anyways, he picked up Triple H's car while Triple H was still inside and was dropped. So Triple H was out for a while. But you could obviously, whether it was censored then or not, hear Triple H go, "Holy shit!" And right before he fell. So Triple H was out for a while, and Steve Austin remained, even though it was no contest, Steve Austin remained the winner in my eyes. But there is Survivor Series 2000. It was a good start to the new year, the new decade. It was a hell of a lot better, in my opinion, than WrestleMania that year. But next year is going to be interesting because, well, you'll have to wait and see. Talk to you later. Bye.